Oh man, another insane horror manga. Today we will be covering Doku Mushi, a really dark one, so trigger warning, some things mentioned in this video could be disturbing and or a trigger. Alright, now that we have that out of the way, let's hop into the video. We'll start off with a real quick synopsis, and to keep it as simple as possible, these people wake up in a school straight up trapped in the school. They find out there is no food, only water. They find a hot pot or a crock pot, whatever the hell you want to call it. That and a meat cleaver, so obviously they are meant to kill and eat each other to survive. Whole bunch of violence, gore, lewdness, just absolutely everything. But that about wraps up the synopsis. Now the plot is pretty unique. Being trapped in some random location isn't the most original thing in the world because it's been done a million times over by several franchises like the Saw movies. But this whole setup is wild, like not much is going on besides the meat cleaver and the hot pot, right? So the plot is kind of what these people figure out and how they fight amongst themselves. And I find that great because it's a more loose way to do a story. It's like instead of them leading the entire story all the way through, it kind of feels like the characters themselves are controlling the story by their actions. Now I can talk about the characters a little bit, which is whatever, I could spend all the time in the world talking about the inner workings of all of them. So I thought, hey, let's skip most of these characters except two, and these two very much add to the disturbing nature of this manga, so I'll explain it to you. One of these characters is just a little girl. Pretty tame, right? Yeah, for sure. The other character is an adult man. How do I say this? So basically, this man is a, pedo. So yeah, that dynamic is absolutely disgusting and terrifying. This manga just keeps adding and adding onto the overall nastiness. Can't really go into too much detail about that little dynamic there, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's nasty. It's gross. I don't even know what to call it, man. It's horrible. It's absolutely despicable. And of course, it doesn't end there. It never ends that simply. There is a load of violence and gore. I mean, hell, one character has a flashback to where they accidentally kill the family in a car, and you get to see the mother and father melt in a fire, and it's implied that the baby in the car melts as well in that fire, which is horrible and graphic, but they don't show the baby, so I guess they have some kind of morals there. I don't know. It wasn't the most violent thing in the world. The gore is toned down in this scene, but still pretty messed up. There's also sexual violence and, rap, more despicable things. One male character gets brutally, and I mean brutally, strangled to death. I actually have that manga panel pinned on my wall because it's pretty dope. I'm sure I can show it. It wasn't all that crazy, but I thought it was dope looking. But that's about all I'll say on the violent side of things with all the gore and stuff, because I don't want to spoil the story, because a lot of the violence is directed towards each other, and that kind of gives up what happens. All around, Doku Mushi is really, really messed up. And what I do with manga like this is I rate it on a horror scale, and on my little fancy horror scale, I will be giving Doku Mushi a 7 out of 10. Pretty high up there. Now, would I suggest it? Like always, if you're experienced with disturbing media, yeah, sure, go for it. You're an adult. I'm sure you can figure it out on your own. But if you're not experienced, I'm gonna say a fat no, because it's fucked up, and if you're not into like really messed up media and stuff like that, just skip over this one. But that about does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Doku Mushi down in the comments. Also check the description for all my links and more information on the manga. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.